You press the button, nothing happens. You press it again. By day 3 of taking the stairs, your mind starts to look for reasons. Did someone tamper with the machine? Or maybe the repair company is playing favorites. Some richer building down the street paid a premium to skip the line. Those theories have a few roots in the public record. In May 2013, one worker in Toronto did catch a tampering charge during a strike. You can also pull up the federal racketeering indictments against New York's Local 1 in the early 2000s. But across thousands of buildings and decades of history, the real mechanism is much simpler. Elevators almost never stay dark because someone broke them. They sit dark because no one showed up to fix them. The people who do show up belong to a highly specialized workforce, the elevator constructors. They build, maintain, and repair the machines keeping cities functioning. If you want to know why you are stranded in your lobby, you have to look down the shaft. You need to understand how these mechanics work, how they negotiate, and exactly how much leverage they hold. When repair crews are stretched thin, whether by a labor shortage or a strike, the repair schedule defaults to a strict arithmetic. It's a triage queue. Look at the bottom of this chart. First priority goes to entrapments, to clear people out of stuck cars. Next are hospitals and long-term care facilities. That pushes standard residential buildings, especially those with only 1 or 2 elevators, to the absolute bottom of the list. This triage system creates a very specific kind of pressure. If workers strike at a car factory, the assembly line stops that same day. Elevators operate on a slow burn. The machines keep running when a walkout begins, but day by day, tiny mechanical faults accumulate. Without mechanics there to clear them, the safety systems eventually force the cars to shut down, one by one. Back in your lobby, you haven't been skipped because someone paid a bribe. You are losing an equation, waiting behind the city's lifelines. To understand the mechanics themselves, we have to look at their ledger. The financial upside is massive. Elevator constructors are the highest paid construction trade in the United States, earning a median wage of over $52 an hour. On the other side is the cost of that wage. The trade carries the highest fatal injury risk of any construction occupation. Add to that the exhaustion of 21-day on-call rotations, where the phone can ring at any hour. The work environment is entirely unforgiving. Out of all American elevator fatalities, roughly half are workers themselves, most often from plummeting into the open void. This lethal reality explains their tight grip on the trade today. To grasp their militancy, you have to look at who used to share the shaft. Decades ago, mechanics only built the machines. Another workforce, the operators, drove the cars by hand. In September 1945, 15,000 operators and building service workers walked out in New York City. The commercial towers froze. An estimated 1.5 million people stayed home, costing the city over $100 million. The operators won favorable terms, but the financial damage terrified building owners. The industry aggressively marketed automatic, self-service elevators to the public. Within a generation, the operator profession was entirely erased by a push button. Today's constructors guard their jurisdiction with such intensity because they are the sole survivors. They remember exactly what happened to the operators. Now, that surviving workforce faces an identical threat. We are entering the second automation. Manufacturers are actively shipping these systems. Kone relies on IBM's Watson for its 24/7 connected services, and TK Elevator runs its Max platform on the Microsoft Cloud. These connected elevators monitor themselves. They diagnose their own mechanical faults and generate service tickets remotely, bypassing human inspection. The labor question is whether this technology is a tool or a replacement. Will predictive data make a dangerous job safer, or will it de-skill the craft, turning specialized mechanics into gig workers answering push notifications? Which brings us back to your lobby. You are still waiting. The doors are still closed. But the context is different. That dark elevator is the friction point of a vulnerable workforce, fighting against deadly conditions and corporate automation to keep their place in the shaft.